But speaking of statistics, right, that's going to be very tough for their team. Just like what happened to Blacklist International and Onyx Rise, that was actually very tough. But might to tell you that despite not having the comparison in terms of statistics, at least for the tournament, Onyx Rise and Blacklist International were really known for having a mini rivalry because they were going head to head, on some parts of the scene in Pokemon Unite. But let's set them aside first. Let's, of course, have the main dish for tonight. That's going to be Full Sense and Paper Rex. We have Gyarados, surprisingly, been taken out. Eldegoss as well, together with the Psyduck and Umbreon.
And Mimikyu will be locked in here by Full Sense, a hyper priority that we have seen so far. But Urshifu's going to be open. Starlich is open. There's a lot of openings here for Paper Rex. The likes of Umbreon as well. Oh, there's just a lot of options here. Now Darkrai, if that's going to get locked in, that's the first time that we're going to see it here in a Pokemon Unite Asia Champions League.
I do believe that we've seen it before. That was like day number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that was day number 4. But day number 5, Darkrai wasn't available for use. That's why we haven't been seeing it. But right now, day number 6, it's gonna be back. And Mamoswine, for the first time, at least for tonight, we get to see it once again. I am missing this Pokemon. This is one of the very efficient Pokemon that you could get with great amount of kit and crowd control for your team.
Yeah, Blastoise and then Hoopa. And now for the likes of Full Sense. That's a long time that we have seen our last season, Rada, coming into a single composition as well. It's quite a bit of a long time already. But so far, Full Sense, a bit of a balanced draft here. But kind of unorthodox, if we're going to say it. Like, it's a mix, if you may. But for Paper Rex as well, last but not the least, in terms of their lock-in for their composition, would be Urshifu.
Both are very well balanced, if I have to tell you here, for both teams. And I'm loving composition so far. Darkrai could put everyone into sleep. They have a fast rotation, which is going to be the Hoopa. And of course, they have a blowout damage as well coming in from Solo and HT. So I love the composition of Paper Rex still. But then again, we cannot deny that their opponent as well, Full Sense, really has an interesting lineup as well. The Meowscarada back on track, same thing with the Sylveon. Sylveon, despite having a limited amount of range, still reliable with that hyper voice.
Yeah, it definitely is. So we'll see. Paper X versus Full Sense, final matchup here in this group stage. It will be the final series of the day, but we still can go into the distance. We still can go into the 3 games that we have seen so far as a pattern all throughout the day.
Yeah, it really was a pattern. So we cannot do anything about it. A lot of teams are really competitive right now because a lot of things are already at stake. And definitely, we saw it on the first 4 games. But right now, this is going to be Paper Rex, who is actually going to be competing for the seeding. Because again, Full Sense, the path has been closed for them to advance all the way to the playoffs. Blacklist International made sure that they're going to be the ones to conquer it by getting a game up against Onyx Rise. But right now, shift of attentions, ladies and gentlemen, Paper Rex versus Full Sense, our final game for today.
Yeah, and they're really exciting here. Darkrai, it's the first time that we're going to see it here in Asia Champions 2025. However, Darkrai has been one of the picks that has been being picked time and time again over the past weeks, even starting last year when Asia Champions League 2025 started. Darkrai is one of the things that we keep on seeing and we keep on eyeing on time and time again. So we'll see how Paper Rex will be playing this Pokemon out. But so far, Full Sense being pushed back quite a bit.
Push back. I mean, that's actually a phenomenal strategy. Both teams are very chill. As of now, they're not overextending a lot here. They know that they're going to be Altaria and Swablu's all the way into their pathing, and that's going to be the high prioritization all the way to the top path. I love what I'm seeing right now, and there's going to be someone getting pinched down. HT, on the other hand, tries to fall back immediately after having a lot of damage coming in from Full Sense, and that is going to be a lot of secure coming in from Full Sense in top path.
Yeah, and now Paper Rex. It's a 4-man rotation on top side. It will be a 4v1. Mimikyu gets down. It's a KO once again for PRX.
Okay, once again, indeed. And that's going to be the first goal coming in from the War Turtle. 13 points to be specific. And Paper Rex kept on shooting their goals once again. But those ice shards, rather, not going to be, it's going to be preventing Paper Rex from scoring even further. But 79 points, that's actually a huge amount of numbers at the first 2 minutes of the game.
It is. And the top side of the map, wherein it is the tier 1 goal zone, it only has pretty much like 1 HP left. And Paper Rex, if they dunk it, it's a full overcap if they go in for 40 points or 50 points. So it's really, really good. The PRX, we'll see what they could do here. As Sunzage down to 1 HP left, still alive.
Wow, look at that, clutch moments in order to make it alive on that situation. Great escape here coming in from Full Sense. But right now we're going to be seeing the objectives in 30 seconds to be specific. I'm not quite sure what will be the prioritization here, but Paper X is eyeing or looking good in taking down that Regieleki later on.
And now you have Paper Rex setting things up. You have the Altaris and Swablu. Wait, the Darkrai. Quite mobile as a Pokemon as well, but Full Sense. Unfortunate. They went in for a 4 or 5 man rotation to bottom pat, but not really getting any wild Pokemons in trade.
Yeah, but they're actually getting this objective once and for all. That's going to be the Regirock. Additional defense coming in from their team. Very unfortunate, they still have a Swinub on their pocket, not being a Piloswine as well, but that's very rewarding as they take down the Regirock immediately. But there is going to be the rotation happening at the side of Paper Rex as they're going to be starting things down all the way out to Regieleki.
Yeah, now you have the Regieleki being taken down by Rex. It is the DPS Blastoise with a water spout. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not going to be the traditional setup of the Servant Hydro Pump. So they're going to be relying more on their consistency in terms of damage because they know that the Hydro Typhoon is going to be enough for them to, it's a high risk, high reward. They are just relying on the Hydro Typhoon and the Rings and Down. And Mike, to tell you, that's not just that. They also have the Nightmares of the Darkrai that could actually put everyone to sleep the moment that you get in touch with it.
Yeah, that's fair, right? But the thing is, like, Paper Rex, having only one defender actually going in for the damage is a bit of a it's a risky move, as you have mentioned, with definitely like high rewards if ever it works out. But we'll see how Paper Rex would be dealing with this, especially going down into more of the latter half of the game. But so far, Full Sense still at 0 points is quite problematic. If you may end 5 minutes into the game, this is a dangerous point.
Very, very dangerous right now. Full Sense not being able to score a single goal. At the first, almost 5 minutes of the game to be specific. Jump pads are going to be in anytime soon, and Paper X kept on protecting their goal zone as quick as they could. So this is actually a major setback immediately, and you can see that Full Sense really does have a lot of energies in stack. They just don't have the spacing so far.
Yeah, for sure. Like Full Sense having like 40 points each. I mean, in an exception with a Piloswine with 30 points alongside with a Blissey. Now Paper Rex going in with the elevator. There is the Reggie bottom now up already, alongside with the Regieleki coming out pretty soon as well. That's Regice being started by Paper Rex.
Yeah, and this is going to be quicker than we expected right now. They're going to be charging in as quick as they can. That's an additional HP regen, so definitely Full Sense really wants to do an upset here with a Hyper Voice, but not going to be quite enough as that Urshifu will take the last hit. And they have to rotate all the way to the top path, of course, to guarantee and secure the Regieleki as well. But that will be an opportunity for Full Sense for them to go against the goal zone of Paper Rex.
But they could not leave the tier 1 goal zone into the bottom side of the map, considering that there is a 4-man rotation coming in for the side of Full Sense. Darkrai.
Wow. That's actually a great Ice Fang. Perfectly timed coming in at the side of the Mammoth White. And right now, Raisin Valley is going to be here. The response is so quick from Paper Rex. They're not letting Full Sense convert their AO's energies into scores, and this is just quite interesting. Rapid Spin plus the Water Spout is going to be there, and look at that, Meowscarada dancing all the way to the middle. Hydro Typhoon is going to set up the play coming in from Paper Rex, and they are just dominating this fight once again. No room for Full Sense for them to bounce back.
Yeah, now Paper Rex a bit in danger here. You have the Rapid Spin. Just going for it here, the Paper Rex. They're slowly just playing towards their tier 1 goal zone. Full Sense, despite that all in, is not going to be able to dunk any points whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's actually quite a tough time, if I may add up to, because it's not the usual game that we get to see in Paper Rex. Not leaving it opening here. Full Sense is just playing tag with them, not knowing when to score, because every single goal zone is locked down immediately by Paper Rex, and this is actually not looking good. They can't seem to trade the objectives as well, but they're relying very much on their Meowscarada and Mimikyu, who's very much ahead of the levels, but anytime soon that might drop out.
Now Paper Rex going down into the bottom side of the map, hyperspace hole. Just to set up the place here. Mammal Swine, the Ice Fang on Hoopa, that will set up things up. Full Sense goes in, 1 KO already.
And that is quite a phenomenal exchange here. They can actually secure the Registeel here, and an added attack would be granted for their team. But look at that, almost quite a steal from the Charge Beam, but that Meowscarada is going to be getting in the last hit, and 20 seconds on the clock, that Rayquaza will be up, but no one's going to be clutching to secure that Regieleki as a diversion play. So that's actually a phenomenal decision as well coming in from Paper Rex. They don't want to overextend, or they don't want to gamble that security of Regieleki just to bait it out, because they know that Full Sense is in full formation to take this objective once and for all.
Rayquaza comes up now. Paper Rex just has to play for time quite a bit, because the thing is, like, Full Sense still has 0 points. Paper Rex, it's 109. There's tier 1 goal zones across the board for PRX here, so it's all about like positioning yourself in a way that you can reach out on tier 1 goal zone anytime.
That Ice Fang wasn't able to knock up the Blastoise. Very unfortunate. That could have started things off for Full Sense. But right now, I love the positioning here. 1-3-1 for Paper Rex to make sure that there's not going to be anyone who's going to be sneaking in the goals into their tier 1. It hasn't been touched, by the way. It hasn't been scored yet, so it is really a fresh goal zone yet again. Full Sense cannot advance. 1 minute, almost 1 minute has expended. Yet again, there's not enough movement.
Mammal Swine has to enter. Mammal Swine can't do this just sitting around pretty in the side lanes. It's a minute left, and Full Sense is still a 100-point deficit.
Yeah, you see, they're just waiting for someone to appear all the way into their minimap and try to go for the Ice Fangs, and that would do everything else. But Mammal Swine really needs to initiate things up. He has to start. He has to make something happen, but he is too behind on their lineup. But there we go. The Mammoth Mash is going to be in once and for all. Hydro Typhoon, we're still waiting for a perfect timing. Recent Bound is going to be there, but Hyper Voice all the way to the back line. But Hydro Typhoon would land once again. Going to be knocking up 2 out of nowhere. But look at that Hoopa being able to provide a lot of damage yet again. But that Rayquaza, who's going to be taking a little bit of HP left, but still Paper Rex takes it down. Sylveon is the only ones left, as he's going to be backing away, and Paper Rex secures the game with 15 seconds left.
It's too long. Full Sense took so much time to be able to come through and commit to that. And then, in addition to what had occurred, the Mammoth Mash going into the backside, really good setup plays. But the thing is, like, the Ice Fang missed, or well, actually dodged away by Paper Rex. It was just removed all of a sudden, and it was just really unfortunate. There was no isolation coming from Ice Fang right after. There was no follow-up coming in from Full Sense, just because the zoning capability of PRX overall, and it was just really unfortunate. The timing wasn't there, pretty much.
Yeah, and it took a lot of time for yeah, and we are just waiting for game number 2. We do apologize for the delays that we are experiencing. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I just called it. Just imagine we're having a caster curse. And not on the game, but at the lobby itself. We jinxed it again. I jinxed it again. But yeah, going back, that's gonna be Full Sense banning Hoopa, and Paper Rex gonna be banning Psyduck as well. So you have to respect that Darkrai as well. I love the respect here coming in from Full Sense.
Yeah, for sure. Darkrai being banned away. I don't know. The Darkrai had significant amount of impact from the prior game, but what I'm sure of that, it's new, and it's really, really exciting to watch how the Darkrai movements work, because it's a very mobile Pokemon, as well as a bit of a chunk of damage going to the side of Full Sense. But for now, in terms of that priority, Gyarados as the first pick here. a surprising priority by FS.
Yeah, and that's oatmeal for you. That is his trademark. One of the top picks that oatmeal does is, Gyarados. And actually, when you do have a Gyarados right now, you need to have a very reliable defender so far. So, looking forward to it, and at the same time, Hoopa is open. Not open, rather, but there is actually a lot of options still that Full Sense could actually go. They're going to be sticking with the Mamoswine, so I do hope that there is going to be a better execution here by Spoon.
Yeah, the Mamoswine, you have the Blissey as well. So overall, I think it's a very similar draft that we're looking at, with the difference of the Gyarados. In addition to that, Paper Rex going in with Zoroark and the Comfey.
Oh, they did it. This is gonna be fire. This is gonna be an overheat, a flamethrower, whatever you want to call it, whatever fire type moves, because this is an unstoppable combo. Comfey and Zoroark is just way too hard to block it out. And yes, they do have the Mamoswine, but this is just so quick enough. And Mamoswine is a slow starter Pokemon, so definitely would be a tough time. But if there's an opportunity, if that Ice Fang is gonna land immediately, definitely would love to see that happen.
Oh yeah. And I think Ice Fang is really good here. Onto Zoro, I think that's something that's phenomenal. Once you isolate Zoro, and once you kind of hinder him for even a second, since Zoroark is a very squishy target, it's a very squishy Pokemon, it could lead to kind of a win and advantage for Full Sense coming down to game 2. So that's something that we could expect, and something that we could look at for Mamoswine and how he maneuvers around the map later on, and how he maneuvers and set those things up for Full Sense as a team.
Yeah, very excited for Full Sense. There has been a similar, yet there has been a different draft, yet similar idea of what we're going to be seeing, at least for game number 2. But I love the consistency that Paper Rex is trying to offer to their fans, to their table, and definitely Paper Rex, because it really does have a huge shot for them to take this one in 2-0. But again, not going to be surprised if Full Sense takes this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, having the pattern on today, reverse sweeps, 3 games, one to stop now, Sense, you can do it. Yes?
Yes. I mean, very possible, So right now, potentially this could be the last game for tonight at least. And, a lot of things can still happen, right? But right now, this Gyarados could be a game changer for Full Sense if they can take advantage of this into the early game.
Yeah. See, as you have Paper Rex and Full Sense, I think this will be a bit slower, right? Especially coming down into the side of FS. They need a bit of time for the Gyarados to scale. They need a bit of time for that Mamoswine to reach the final evolution. PRX, I think level 5 is the time we're in. Zoroark will try to rotate, and Comfey will just stick with him rather, into just rotating around the map and trying to help him and be that menace in those team fights.
Yeah, that is what I am talking about a while ago. They're going to be an unstoppable combo here. The moment that these two work together hand in hand like a double battle, and look at that, cleaning off the Swablues and Altargas, plus the knockout in return and in exchange of a reward. But he is not yet done. He's going to be taking down Oatmeal if he does want to, but it is very far away that he has to go back and score instead. Quite phenomenal execution still for Paper Rex.
Yeah, Paper Rex, 62 points already, and we're just starting. Minute and a half into the game, and Paper Rex has already a significant amount of lead here up against Full Sense. But this time around, they still have to wait for Blastoise to reach the final evolution. Same goes with Gyarados for the side of FS, so this takes a bit of time for both ends.
It'll take a lot of time, but Zero-Atabi, on the other hand, managed to land every single batch of those goals. Phenomenal execution, and I love that concept, because whenever you're a Dodrio, you just want to sink in one goal, but he managed to sink 3 of those, but it's actually very great because, that's very difficult, especially if there's someone who's trying to defend your goal zone.
Yeah, Paper Rex. Full Sense already reached the Gyarados, and then you also have Paper Rex who had reached the Blastoise already. So now this is where things start to really scale up quite a bit for both sides. Although level 9 is still going to be very important, with PR Rex having level 9 on Blastoise would be crucial for those team fighting prowess. We'll see though, as you have Zoroark, 1 KO already.
1 KO, but rapid spin to back away immediately. But there is still Zoroark, who's actually up and going, and double knockout. That's gonna be the answer back, and that Grass Knot is gonna hinder a little bit of an amount of time for that Blissey. Soft Boil not gonna be enough to sustain the damage as well, and that's gonna be the Gold Zone taken down on the top path.
Yeah, and Paper Rex with the tier 1 Gold Zone removed. Regielect be up next to be taken down here by the side of PR Rex. And you also have Full Sense answering back with a handshake here, but the Red still not being started, but Snorlax just on the horizon, lost out with the Miraidon, trying to catch up and get that information. However, Full Sense secures the Registeel.
Yeah, great secure indeed. And right now they're trying to charge in even further all the way to the bottom path Gold Zone. But look at this, Blastoise is trying to disrupt the formation, but he uses the rapid spin and the water spout. I love how they are trying to move back and forth. And look at this, Regieleki is up all the way to the top path, and that Zoroark is trying to go in for the scores.
Snorlax went in for the yawn instead of the... I mean, it still works. It still works. Like, Paper Rex could set things up. You have the sleep coming in from the yawn on Snorlax, and then Zoroark will follow through. I mean, there's still potential. I see the coordination and the chemistry of these two Pokemon would work for a side of PRX. Because the thing is, like, Zoroark is pretty much the main character of Paper Rex's composition.
Oh yeah, and speaking of main character, he managed to knock out that Dodrio all the way to the top path. No questions asked, and he's been giving a lot of vision for his team, making sure that they know the rotation. They are just reading Full Sense like a book.
Well, to be fair, you can't ask a question to anything that's KO. Yes?
Yes, indeed. yeah, you know, it does make sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just pure dominance still for Paper Rex. I cannot see any opening yet for Full Sense for them to bounce back, and just Phantom Force out all the way.
Yeah, you have the you have Oatmeal as well, backing away, trying to dunk in, but he's still the Blastoise, being a menace and just being that annoyance into the top side of the map. And so far, Full Sense backs away. They cannot go in for that farming rotation without getting any value. Because the thing is, like, there's buying time and waiting time, where in PRX still has sustained a huge amount of lead.
Triple Trample is going to be out as well, and that is going to be Oatmeal bouncing all the way inside. Hydro Typhoon to prolong the fight, but that is not going to be quite the value that they were looking for. The Dragon's Turn as well was out, but look at this. Zoroark trying to do the 1v5. Software plus the Bliss assistance will definitely provide a lot of value, but still, they're just shredding the HPs of their opponent. Full Sense, 2 knocked out members, and they are advancing even further into the top path, because that is a guaranteed goal.
Yeah, what a play coming from PRX. I mean, that was really, really good. What we have seen, I mean, it was Arc coming in for that 1v4, bought enough time for the rest of the crew coming for the side of PRX to rise to the top lane. It was a really good showing of coordination and team there. PRX on the top lane, but a Registeel will be up next, stealing it away. Yeah, Mew, what was that?
And this is actually a quite interesting Electro Drift to back away. That was the response of Paper Rex from solo, to be specific. I love the concept that he has been doing so far with his Miraidon. Really giving a hard time for Full Sense to bounce back. And just look at that. They have been stacking a lot of Aeo's energy, but they cannot seem to find an opening for them to convert it into their scoreboard.
Yeah. And now Full Sense has her eyes onto the top side here. Paper Rex still have yet to go through, but the Yawn bought time for them. You now have the Blastoise coming through into the backside, and Zoroark backs away here. He knows that PRX is sufficient enough to defend the tier 1 Gold Zone without him in the top lane.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they do want to take that tier 1 as well, all the way into the bottom path in order to apply more pressure up against Full Sense, because Full Sense so far only has 29 points, very little amount of points in total, and they're just going to be shifting their attention toward
Like PRX. It's all about like funneling towards your Zoroark. It's putting all your eggs in one basket, which is the Zoroark. But here we go, the leaderboard.
Oh, I did my math right. I am so proud of myself. So again, BRU on the top, followed by Paper Rex, Onyx Rise, Talon, Evil's Onyx, Outer Eagle, Blackness International, and Moran Sejong are your top 8 teams that has qualified for the playoffs. And Full Sense and Elevate are the 9th and 10th who will have their exit, and we'll see them again into the winter tournament. So BRU versus Moran Sejong, Paper Rex versus Black